Hey guys, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're at. Thank you for joining me. So, if you could tell by the story, by the title of today's video, it's gonna be a little bit different this time. I specifically picked Elite Dangerous, one because it's one of my favorite games, two because it's on topic, and three because it's something that I think I can chat while I'm playing, as long as I'm not doing anything too attention intensive, such as bounty hunting, which I think I'll skip today. I'm gonna skip the bounty hunting. We're gonna do some trading. So, Elite Dangerous in the background, just more for something for you guys to watch, right? While we chat. So, story time, right? My last several videos, I've been a little bit light on spoken content, focusing more on the gameplay. But you guys know all the gameplay, right? I mean, you've seen the games, you've played the games. Not a whole lot to get into that you guys haven't already seen. So more kind of just watching me blunder around than anything, right? So story time. As you know, if you've been watching this channel for a while, I make these videos for my kids. I make these for my boys. I don't talk about it a whole lot. Certainly don't go into my personal life a whole lot on here, but I work in kind of a dangerous profession. I may garner some dislike because of it, but I'm a rural, small town, small county patrol sergeant. I'm a police officer. I do gaming on the side to kind of de-stress and relax from the job, because I see a lot of heinous crap that I don't think anybody should ever really have to see. But if someone's got to see it, well, I guess it's going to be me. So that's kind of where I'm coming from, right? I work a job where every day I put on my vest and my badge, and I leave my house with the understanding that I may not come back. And that can kind of weigh on you, especially when you're a parent, especially when you love your kids very much. So I've been making these videos as a way to give my kids a way to hear my voice, and in older cases when my PC was working, see my face, in case I'm not around. And if they happen to miss me, they can hear me, right? They can hear kind of my voice of love for them from wherever I'm at. So that's kind of the intention of this streaming service. That's the intention of everything that I'm doing here. I love reconnecting with my friends. I have very close friends that live across the country that I don't get to see nearly as often as I'd like to. Some I haven't seen since I got married. Dear friends of mine, and they're welcome to come and watch as well. And of course, all of you are welcome. I don't know what would draw you here, but I'm happy you're here. I'm not the most entertaining person. God knows there's people here that are far better at entertaining than I am. But I kind of want to be that friend that would sit next to you on the couch and play games and just chat, right? So that's kind of my goal. It's what I'm looking for. I just want to be that person, especially if you're not my kids, if you are my kids. But I want to be that person that you come to relax and find some peace and some normalcy, right? Because in my job, there's just not a whole lot of normalcy. I'm seeing people at their worst 100% of the time. So let's see if there's anything here worth doing. Boom, time delivery of 132 units. I don't think I have that much space. But that is about the price point I'm looking for. 4 units. At Ross 739 or 769. Economic data acquisition. What does that mean? Infiltrate a settlement and interact with a data link. Okay, I'm not doing that. So, because that would require way too much focus on my part. So, story time. Today is titled Story Time for a specific reason. Only a couple of you know The other thing that I do in my spare time, other than play games, is I write. I wouldn't consider myself the greatest writer out there. I am a student of David Eddings, Jim Butcher, Terry Brooks. I'm not as good as any of them, not even a fraction. But I like the way they write, and so I try to emulate, especially David Eddings. If you haven't read David Eddings, the Belgorod, the Malorian, the series, and you're a reader, I would highly recommend it. Absolutely some of the best books I've ever read in my life. They are phenomenal novels. I'm gonna check my storage space here. If I remember how to do this. Whoop, that is obviously not the right button. Nope, that's still not the right button. There we go. He writes fantasy, high fantasy. Great stuff. Let me see how my inventory is empty, but does it tell me how many units? Oh, 48 units. Okay, so yeah, obviously I can't do 130 some odd stuff. That would be silly. You know, maybe let's just get out of here. Let's just go. You know, we're chatting. We don't really need a specific destination. We're just gonna get out and we're gonna fly. Right? I'd like to go to Ra. That's one of my favorite systems, and I haven't actually been there since I switched over to the Xbox. So I kind of want to see what it looks like with actual good settings. Ra, if you are unfamiliar, is a system that it's 3 luxury stations and then an industrial, I think, agricultural station. But those luxury stations are absolutely awesome. Oops, no. There we go. Search for Ra. Like the Egyptian god. It's usually only a jump or 2 away from my current system. So, yeah, it looks like it's 2 jumps. Cool. Alright, so we are locked in. Let's go ahead and get out of here. If I can remember how to do this. I'm gonna die. Yep, I'm gonna die. There we go, headlights. Okay, so yeah, so I've written a book. I write, right? That's what I do because police work doesn't generate enough writing. I'm being totally sarcastic right there.
Clear the landing pad. Regulate speed until outside the exclusion zone.
I love this game, dude. This game is so. So, you'll notice all 3 of the people that I reference, all 3 of the authors that I reference write fantasy. 2 of them high fantasy and 1 of them urban fantasy. Jim Butcher, in particular, writes urban fantasy and his stuff. I mean, Terry Brooks dabbles in it a little bit. His Shannara series got very cool. I love the twist he put in that, where all of his elves and stuff ended up being like Earth after a cataclysm, right? So there's still, I don't know. It was a cool twist. He actually has a show on Netflix that is pretty good. It follows kind of the series fairly well. I think it's specifically the Elfstones of Shannara. It's not exactly how I envisioned it, but it's his vision, not mine, and I think it's great. So why not? So,
Flight control now
shit.
offline. Hope to see you again, Commander.
There we go. So, anyway, Terry Brooks has dabbled, and I say dabbled, he's written several books, so far more than I, into urban fantasy, but I think the backbone of his literature has always been high fantasy, right? Whether it's the early parts of the Shannara series, whether it's Magic Kingdom for Sale Sold, lots of great stuff there. But Jim Butcher is the one in particular that I'm speaking of when I'm talking about urban fantasy. Writes absolutely excellent stuff. I love his stuff. How do I... Oops, that is totally the wrong button. How do I do my... There we go, analysis mode. And... Is it this one? There we go, now. Scan. There we go. We're gonna get that money. Sorry, I'm totally distracted. I thought I would be better at this, but I'm really not. It is what it is, my friends. So, Jim Butcher. The thing that sets these three authors apart, especially Jim Butcher, especially David Eddings, and to an extent Terry Brooks. Don't get me wrong, I love Terry Brooks, but he's a third on this scale. I love their writing. I love their character interaction, is what I love about the writing. Their descriptions are on point. Their world building, immaculate. But when it comes to character interactions, when it's David Eddings, the interactions between his characters are 1,000% the reason to, or 1,000% the reason to read his books. I mean, if you are not reading his books, you're missing out on some great character interaction. Great stuff. A Jim Butcher, the same thing. I mean, you feel for his characters, and he does such a good job of showing, not telling, which is kind of a writer thing. But basically, it means instead of spelling everything out, you describe things as they happen, right? You let the situation describe what you're trying to say as opposed to just spelling it out, right? Because if you spell everything out, it gets really boring, right? You're just kind of dictating at that point. Like, he was sad. He had, you don't want to say he was sad. You want to build the situation to a point where he's sad, right? And Jim Butcher, read Changes if you need a book to show you how to show and not tell. I mean, any of his Dresden Files books are great, but Changes will absolutely drop you to your core. It is very rare that I get emotional. I sob like a freaking baby on that book. So, seriously, check his stuff out. Check all their stuff out. So, back to where I was kind of going. Written a book. Haven't told a whole lot of people about it. And a lot of that has to do with I'm not certain that it's very good. And the goal to writing the book would be to release the doggone thing and see if there's any marketable interest in it. They always say, don't write a book to make money. Your heart won't be in it. Well, my heart was in it. And I am not afraid to make money off of it. But I am afraid that someone's going to read it and they're just going to immediately dislike it, right? They say writing is showing your rear end to the world. Well, I would almost rather show my rear end to the world than release my book. Because, and it's all pointless, really. Not the release of the book, but the fear and the concern. Not because I think I'm that good, because I know I'm not, but rather, people are either going to like it or they're not. And me sitting on it is not going to change how they like it, right? And I can sit here and I can tinker with it, and I can shave off the rough edges, which I've done for, admittedly, years. I've had this thing for years, right? I've been writing it. I think I actually completed writing on the book 2 years ago. And I've been building agent worksheets, and I've been watching YouTube videos. AuthorTube is a thing. If you want to get into writing, or you are into writing, go to YouTube if you don't already know about it. AuthorTube is basically just this huge collection of writers that discuss the trade. They give tips and tricks and talk about the current industry standards, and it's something to get into if that's something you're interested in. AuthorTube. You can just go onto YouTube and type AuthorTube and it will come up, believe me. Thousands and thousands and thousands of videos. So I waste my time, maybe much like I'm doing here playing video games, but no, I waste my time worried about what people are going to think. Because one of the things about the industry is if you send your manuscript, your book, to an agent, and there's only so many agents, you can only send that manuscript once. And they are either going to... You got three answers, or three situations at that point. So your three situations are, they love it, and they immediately offer you a book deal. Never happens. But unless you're Jim Butcher, David Eddings, Terry Brooks, unless you are, and you know, I've listened to Jim Butcher and most of these authors, and they've never, like, first time out, like, knocked out of the park first time, right? You know, they all have their frustrations, their stories about being rejected, right? Everybody's gotten rejection letters. And these people are like top of the market. I mean, these are very, very good authors. I think even Stephen King, who, you know, I may not be the greatest fan of, but I can definitely respect his abilities. Even Stephen King has talked about the vast number of rejection letters he got. So it's not like I'm going into this expecting to hit it out of the park first time, right? So the three things, they'll either accept you outright, which never happens, very, very rarely happens. They can dismiss your manuscript outright, which means you're done. That author or that editor is now closed to you. And that's a scary one, right? That's the one where you're like, oh crap, well, I guess I can never talk to them again unless I write a completely new manuscript, and then at which point you can try submitting again, right? It has to be totally different. You cannot just rework some of it and give it back. And then the third option, the third possibility, is that they admit that they like your stuff, but it needs work, and they give you a laundry list of things to fix, right? And that can be anything from, I don't like the way you write certain sentences, to, oops, crap, sorry, I am totally not flying well right now. They don't like the way you write sentences, to, I gotta roll, come on, there we go. Oh, I don't want to crash at rock, come on. Big honking ship.
Heavy traffic around this facility. Proceed with caution.
7. There we go. Yeah, no crap. Or they can tell you, well, I don't like your character. Your character's not diverse enough, or your character will not. You know, you try to redo your character. I don't think that the public is gonna resonate with it, right? And honestly, a lot of those are straight up rejections anyway. If they don't like your characters, you're done, dude. So that is a legitimate concern of mine. But yeah, so, you know, I've gone through some of the steps that they recommend you take, like using beta readers. I think I got about 6 or 7 beta readers, sent my book out to them, and I got one reply back from somebody that actually read it. And this girl, very, very nice, very kind, advised, well, this isn't the genre she appreciates, and it's not really her cup of tea, but she liked it and felt that, you know, she actually gave me some usable feedback. The other 5 people I sent it out to, it's been a year and a half now. I haven't heard a word back. So it really hit me in the confidence, made me wonder, okay, well, I mean, not even wonder, because I know these people obviously do not like the way I write. They did not finish the book, or if they did, it was of such meh level that they had no interest in even bothering to give me feedback. So that's kind of where it hit me, right? And I even put in this short questionnaire, a couple pages long, I put this short questionnaire, Tika Elite Altruist Bagging Cooperative. Okay, whatever. That's a weird name for a faction. I even put on the short questionnaire, some a question at the end saying, if you did not finish the book, just let me know why, right? It was a short, simple questionnaire. The one reader that did finish and gave me some response back filled it out, no problem. It's like, I don't know, maybe 12 questions, right? It wasn't anything serious. In fact, I can bring it up here. Let me see here. Sorry, guys. Here we go. I got it on my phone, so let me click on it. So the name of the book, if you're curious, is Ben Gregory Sky Tracer. So my beta worksheet, my beta reader worksheet, has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I was a little bit wrong. 15 questions. Okay. And they consist of little simple things. Was there enough conflict, tension, and intrigue to keep your interest? Did the dialogue keep your interest and sound natural to you? If not, whose dialogue do you think sounded artificial or not like the person would speak? Did you notice any discrepancies or inconsistencies? Just simple stuff, right? I mean, just stuff that I'm not asking for. Well, on page such and such, what did you think about this paragraph? Or if you could, you know, if you could replace one character with somebody else. Although that's not really a bad question. But yeah, basically, I didn't ask them to get too far into depth. You know, how many spelling errors did you find? Right. That's not what this was about. This is about just read it for fun, and then tell me what you think. And I got one reply. So that really hit me. That told me maybe I don't have the book I think I do. So what's the book about? Right? That's the question everybody wants to ask. So initially, when I was plotting the book, I was trying to write. Boy, they just have a whole bunch of nothing good here, do they? I'll tell you what. Let's go up to the surface, and we can take a look at this place, because this should be a luxury starport, right? So this should be very fancy. So what's the book about? All right. So when I first, this is not my luxury starport at all. This is just standard industrial. All right, we're gonna launch. We're gonna find a better one. Let's go. This place is boring. Looks just like all the other ones. Oh, I will. Or I'll crash, but really, who cares? Oh crap! I still have it on turn. There we go. Rotate, rotate, rotate. There we go. All right. Okay, so when I started out, I'm just gonna fly for a minute. Bear with me. I wanted the book to be kind of like a Lone Ranger style book, right? Definite bad, definite good, something fun. I wasn't really writing it for kids, but I wasn't gonna include a bunch of, and I didn't include a bunch of adult stuff. There's no real language in there. You know, I say he cursed as opposed to throwing in all the explicatives, right? There's not really any sex. There is some romance that I've written in there just because I felt that it needed it. Yeah, you see you later. So I felt that it needed some romance, so I put that in there, right? I just wrote it to be the kind of book that I would want to read. I want it to be a little bit funny. Not like just telling jokes the whole time, but something that where you would, you know, kind of like Indiana Jones, right? You watch Indiana Jones, it's not a comedy per se. I mean, it has a happy ending, so I guess if you go super literal, then yeah, it's technically a comedy, not a drama, not a, okay. But it's not a movie you sit down and it's like, you know, it's not like Gabriel Iglesias and you're sitting there just laughing the whole time. But it has funny elements, right? So that was kind of where I was writing from. I wanted to write something that was legitimately kind of funny, but enjoyable. Got some action in it. Got a little bit of mystery in it. So I thought, well, you know, why don't I write it kind of like the Lone Ranger, but in space, right? So that's the premise I started with. Just wanted to be kind of a Lone Ranger in space. And so I started building my character. Well, my main character, Ben Gregory, all the books I read, you know, it's a 20-something, peak physical condition, former military, Tough guy. No, I didn't go that route. So Ben Gregory, he is a tough guy, but I decided to write from a little bit of experience. I didn't write myself into the novel. He and I have some pretty stark differences, but he is a cop. He's an ex-cop that was fired for doing the right thing, right? And that wasn't terribly hard to write because honestly, in the current political climate, it's pretty easy to do the right thing and be against policy. Especially in Ben Gregory's case, he looked the other way on a warrant so that a mother who had warrants could spend the day with her daughter, who was very sick, and caused all kinds of problems because the kid was reported as missing, or possibly abducted by the mother, and the main character was watching them from a distance, knew that everything was okay, but he knew as soon as if he called it in, well, that would be the end of it, right? Here comes the cavalry. They come in, they'd swoop up, they'd take the mom to jail and take the daughter back to her home, and this was possibly the last time those two would ever see each other. So he sat on his hands and watched from a distance, made sure everybody was safe, but didn't call it in. And of course, that was found out, and he lost his job. So, fired for doing the right thing. Pretty feasible, in my opinion. Relatable. I've never been fired from law enforcement, but so don't go that way. But it is something that can happen, and I think it builds the character of Ben. So, he's fired. He has a young daughter. I don't really get into the specifics. She's older than a small child, but not an adult yet. And he's the sole parent because his wife passed away from cancer several years beforehand, and he still very much holds a torch for her. It's not his driving force. I'm not doing one of those I'm out to get revenge because you killed my spouse thing. That's a trope that is way overused, and that's not what I'm here for. So, but let me do that. We'll fly towards the planet. It's pretty. So, that said, he has some concerns, right? He lost his job. He lives in Jacksonville, Florida. That's where my biological dad was from. That's why I wrote it there. I've been there precisely once. Thought it was okay. I mean, it's not. It's neither here nor there. Basically, I wrote it in there just because my biological dad was from there and was living there at the time, and I thought he'd appreciate kind of a casual nod to him because that's about all as close as we were, was casual nod. Not to get into that pile of mess. Never really knew him growing up. So, anyway, just to be respectful, casual nod. Story starts out in Jacksonville, Florida. So, Ben is having trouble making ends meet, right? He's doesn't know where his next paycheck's coming from. He's looking for jobs. He has a boat that him and his wife worked on together, a fishing boat, and so he's taking on kind of a charter, fishing charters to make ends meet while he looks for a better employment, right? And so he gets a request to go to charter his boat from a person named Morgan. I specifically picked Morgan because it's gender neutral. You don't know if it's a boy or a girl. Morgan Freeman or a million girls named Morgan, right? You don't really know. So the way I wrote it, the assumption is Morgan is male. His daughter, Ben's daughter, is on the boat, and all of a sudden this beautiful woman comes walking down the pier, and come to find out that's Morgan, and she's carrying a briefcase. And in the briefcase, you find out through the story, is a pretty large amount of money, enough to make Ben's problems disappear for a while. And with Morgan comes a job offer from a very reclusive philanthropist from outside of the country who found out about Ben's plight, being fired for the wrong thing, being terminated for the wrong thing and wants to employ him to find a missing employee of his own, right? So this philanthropist, his name is Jain, Ranjit Jain, Indian fellow, India, not Native American, but Indian. Ranjit Jain. A lot of the names in here are the way they are because I did a lot of Googling to try to make sure I'm not taking somebody like a person's name that's popular or well known or, right? Like, if I searched up Benjamin McGregor, there's some hits on that, right? There's some famous people that have that name or people that are popular that have that name, but Ben Gregory didn't come back with anything. So I'm like, well, that'll work. Same thing with Ranjit Jain. Jainism is actually a religion of pacifism, more of a way of life. I didn't really get into it, but that's kind of what I went with was Ranjit Jain. That is a last name used in India, and Ranjit is a first name that's not terribly uncommon, but not the combination of the two didn't spring up a bunch of hits. So I went with that. So Jain hires Ben to find a missing employee at Jain's business, his philanthropic business, however you'd say that, which is called Heaven's Door International. Not well known. He works behind the scenes, gives money to charities, etc., etc. Nice guy, right? Kind of grandfatherly, has a big beard, etc. So Ben takes the money. It seems too good to be true. The Morgan, who has kind of sold him on coming out and just speaking to Jain, included included a plane ticket from Jacksonville, Florida to the Maldives, over in Asia, where Jain operates out of, and just kind of walked away after a good day of fishing. Ben, obviously noticing that she's beautiful, kind of starts to feel something stir, but he's also dealing with the guilt of feeling anything for anybody other than his wife, even though his wife has been passed on for several years. Ben's daughter, Samantha, is very excited by the premise that her father might be looking into something romantic, might finally be getting feelings for somebody. So she kind of sits back, pops the popcorn, and watches a show, right? And throws in pithy comments throughout. So Ben does some research, contacts a friend at his old police station, and asks him to do a search on Jain and on Heaven's Door International. Nothing negative really comes back. So he decides, all right, well, I've got this money, I might as well see what he wants to talk about. Flies out to the Maldives, gets his own little private island, right? I mean, he's getting the king treatment from Jain. Finally meets with Jain. Morgan is there with him as well to facilitate. And Jain is absolutely grandfatherly. He's got the huge white beard. He's jovial. He very easily holds the conversation with Ben, and kind of keeps things going, right? And so his whole thing, he's not telling Ben where the employee is expected to be, other than it's a long ways away. He gives Ben a 2-week window. I'll give you 2 weeks, find my employee who's gone missing. All right, this can go anywhere at this point, and that's kind of why I wrote it this way. So Ben agrees after Jain offers an ungodly amount of money to do this. I mean, it's in the millions. Ben can't even believe it, but apparently Ranjit Jain has money to throw out the window, so why not stand outside the window with the basket, right? Especially when you're hurting for money and the job isn't going to hurt anybody, right? The job's actually something along the lines of a police officer would do anyway. Ben doesn't really stop to wonder why Jain is hiring him specifically when there's so many people that would be better suited for this kind of job, right? He starts wondering that a little bit later. But at this point, he's just so overwhelmed by the offer and intoxicated by the presence of Morgan, although he's loath to admit it, that he agrees. And so they board a boat, him and Morgan, and I mean a huge ship, lots like a huge yacht, lots of people on board, and starts heading towards the coast of Peru from the Maldives. Long enough for Ben to fill out the paperwork and do the medical exams and the psych exams and do a little bit of exercise because Ben is a little overweight. He was a cop for many years, and a job where you sit in your car for 10 hours a day driving from place to place and eating junk food takes its toll, right? So especially when you get older and you're not full of vim and vinegar. So Ben is working out, trying to lose some weight, trying to work out his feelings for Morgan and for the situation. So, and I don't want to spoil this whole thing, right? Because at some point I'd like you guys to read the book, but on the other hand, I'd like your guys' opinion, right? I'm kind of putting this out here just to talk, just to have some content here, and just to get your feedback, because I very much value feedback. So Ben is on this huge yacht. They dock in Peru. I use actual cities. I use actual Google Map directions without getting too, he turned left, he turned right. But basic. What does the town look like, right? Ends up going up to. They make land, right? Start driving up into the Andes. End up not within viewing distance of Lake Titicaca. Haha, very funny. It's there's a reason I'm going here, right? It's not juvenile or Beavis and Butthead style humor. It's because there's a reason. Because there is an actual place just outside of Lake Titicaca that is called the Gateway of the Gods. Right? This is an actual place. You can Google this mess. It's not terribly well known outside of Peru, but it is a pair of doors, a big door, and then inside of that big door, a much smaller door carved into the face of a rock. And it's carved. I mean, it's very precise. It's very cool the way it looks, right? If you Google it, Google Garden of the Gateway of the Gods, and you'll see it. It's very mysterious. And then I'm talking real life here, not my book. It's very mysterious in real life. So we have this mysterious gateway, right? I like to tie in urban legends and things into my stories. So long story, long set of circumstances cut short, it is a gateway. See, the old story, the old myth regarding the Gateway of the Gods is the point where the locals escaped the conquistadors and took all of their gold and went to this gate and disappeared in a flash of blue and went to the land of the gods, right? They left Earth completely and went to another plane of existence, or whatever their statements are. It's all available online. So in my story, it is, and I don't mean to rip off a Stargate, but it's kind of a similar idea. It looks very different. The way I describe it, the way it functions, looks very different. But I had to figure out how to get them off of Earth without landing a bunch of spaceships and going way into Star Trek warp speeds and stuff like that. Although I do have interstellar travel in my books. But this is the gateways are for extreme distances, whereas interstellar, you can go jump star to star, kind of like Elite Dangerous here. I can jump star to star, but if I bring up my galaxy map, right? This is our local area. You can jump star to star, kind of like Elite Dangerous, right? But this is what you're looking at as far as a galaxy. So if I'm jumping from this quadrant and I want to end up in that quadrant, that's going to take a heck of a long time, right? Or I can use one of my gates and get there instantaneously. And that's the idea. On the planets, there were gateways built, not on every planet, just a few planets. Earth happened to be one of them. And I don't really get into a whole lot of detail as to why, but a ancient society built these gateways, and that'll come up later in my other books. Um, there's the local star system. It's amazing how this game works. Um, but yeah, so if you're wanting to jump a long distance, which in this book, the story they do, use a gateway, and so he goes to this gateway and ends up on a planet across the galaxy, right? Not across the universe. We're keeping it in the Milky Way, across the galaxy. And initially, he has no idea. He knows he moved a distance, but he has no idea he left Earth. Right? It feels different. He thinks he's, jumped, several hundred miles, but doesn't think that he's left the planet initially. And Jane's there waiting for him, and because Jane flew in and went through the gate. And Jane's other offices are on the other side of this gate on this alien world. And Jane explains the situation to him. Ben kind of trips for a little bit, meets his first alien, who is called the Ambassador, and who is initially an assistant to Jane. And they set up this, they get him set up to leave the world that they're on and go to this kind of local hub to find out news about where Jane is and then travel from there. Well, while Ben is on this hub, Jane attacks. Or not Jane. The missing employee. His name's Cole. Cole attacks. And that's where Ben starts to really realize that that Cole is not a missing employee. Cole is a former employee who's gone rogue and has basically become something of a pirate. He's stealing things like shipments of diamonds that really don't have a whole lot of value to the alien world, to the alien society. They have industrial uses, but really they're common and not terribly useful. But on Earth, they sell for a lot of money, and so he's making his riches by robbing shipments of diamonds or of precious metals or things like that, things that aren't that valuable, and it's kind of confounding to the alien societies at large. There's several different groups of aliens, and one thing that I've tried to do very hard is write the aliens so that they are not your typical Star Trek blue painted human. No, that's an alien. I can't stand that. I really can't. That mess drives me absolutely nuts. So, let's see, where are we? Let's go here.
Frameshift drive charging.
So yeah, that mess kind of drives me nuts when TV shows and movies and books do that. Well, he's human, but look, he has ripply ears, so clearly he's not human. Yeah, I don't like that. I really don't. That mess kind of ticks me off. So, I made them extremely not human. And I spent a lot of time working on, what kind of planet would they come from? Okay, so how would they have evolved? What are their features? What's their appearance? How do they communicate? Right? Because not everything would evolve ears. Not everything would evolve eyes. Not everything, So trying to work out a way to make it a little more interesting, and maybe you can't really say realistic when it comes to aliens, but something a little more fascinating, a little more interesting, and a little more, I would say, more true to life. Maybe not realistic, but true to life. So that's what I aimed for. I feel like I got it. I feel pretty good about how the book turned out. honestly, I think it's a fun story. Every time I read it to edit it, I'm like, see, this is fun. This is good. And that's what I wanted. So when I have beta readers that don't bother to return the book or give me any feedback, it really makes me nervous. Like, what am I missing? Why am I messing this up? Right? So that's kind of where I'm at. I think at this point I just need to bite the bullet. I need to send it to some agents, and I need to get some professional feedback, but I'm just so nervous to do that. So anyway, the story, just not so I'm not leaving you kind of at a weird spot. The story ends up with Ben chasing Cole across the galaxy, jumping star to star, trying to find him. Cole's always a step ahead. Ben makes some important friends that really assist him in his... Oh, that's so cool. I love how it gets silent. Really assists him in his search. And at one point, Morgan joins the team. They never get too far in their relationship because I consider this book one. So I'm trying to see what this crack is. I don't even know if I have a lander on this ship or not. So yeah, so Ben hunts Cole across the galaxy. I don't want to spoil anything. So if you want to read it, send me a message, and I'll be happy to send it to you. You can take a look at it and see what you think. Family members that have read it have all been glowing in their reviews, but that's family. You know, that I love them very much, and I really appreciate their feedback. But there's maybe a little bit of a bias there, I think. So I think at this point I just need to get the doggone thing to an agent and see where it goes from there. It may not go anywhere. It may disappear, kind of like this canyon-looking thing is. And it's gone. Well, Pookie Dukes. Well, this is a little dark thing. Is it a cave? Can I go in a cave? I don't think they have caves in this game.
Landing gear deployed.
Unsuitable terrain. Okay. Oop, I don't want to do that. Still kind of cockeyed weird. Okay, there we go. So yeah, I do have some long-term goals with the book, where I want the story to go. But on the other hand, if the story's untenable, if it's not something anybody wants to read, then maybe I should work on a different story that would be more agreeable to people, right? So that's kind of where I'm at. I don't even know if, you know, I've got it kind of planned in my head. I'm not a pantser. If you are a writer, you know the difference between pantsers and plotters. Pantsers are people that fly at the seat of their pants. Oops, let's go backwards. And don't write with much of a plot lined out at all. They just kind of, this is what I want to do, and they just go for it. I have endless respect for those people. It's incredible how they do that. I do not have that skill. I've tried several times. It's actually how I started writing, as I was a pantser. And nope, that's not what I wanted. Which one's? Oh, that's the one. Okay, there's my jump notes. So who is that? Oh, and he jumped out of the system. Okay. So yeah, sorry, I'm kind of all over the place right now. See, I don't know that I should spend a whole lot of time on a book that's untenable. right? Or a story that nobody wants to read. Cargo. Cargo scoop. There we go. Now we just come over and hoover all the pieces up. You know what? Let's do it the smart way. Chromium, antimony, and iron. I think chromium is the most valuable out of those. Alright, let's go ahead and do antimony. And I guess since I have room, let's do the iron. Alright, so what is that? So in terms of size, the book, I say so a lot. I'm sorry. That's how I get my brain back on track. I promise I don't do that in my writing. Chromium, cool. And I say a lot too. I am trying to work on that. I promise you that. I hate people that are like all the time, and that's me. So I don't want to be that guy. Therefore, I am working on it. Manganese. Cool. Man, this place is just a gold mine. There's music in the background. Bizarre. Where was I? I'm totally lost now. Crap. This music threw me for a loop. It's like Minecraft, but so cool. All the minor notes really kind of bring in that mystery of space feel. That's cool. I can't even complain about that. Nice. All right. So that's where I was going. The book. Let me say so again. So. The book in size is the same, approximate same word count as the first Harry Potter book. If that'll give you kind of an idea. As far as a character goes, like character traits, Ben is grouchy and kind of unflappable. Something happens and he's like, all right, let's deal with this. And then he does. He is very determined. And I can't believe I'm picking this much stuff up. And he's basically kind of, I don't want to say unstoppable, but he's kind of unstoppable, right? Like, he sets his mind on something, he's stubborn. He's going to go for it. I wrote him in a way to be similar to Jet Black off of Cowboy Bebop, if you're familiar. Absolutely my favorite anime ever. If you haven't seen Cowboy Bebop, my friend, you need to see it. It is an excellent story. Very, very, very well written. A lot of fun to watch. So it's unique. I can't really think of any other anime that's even close to it or similar to it. So where was I going? Where was I going? Jet Black is my favorite character on Cowboy Bebop because I definitely get where he's coming from, right? Like I said, I did not write Ben to be like me. I'm not writing myself into the book, but we have some similarities. But those similarities all have to do with basically my taking liberties with Jet Black, because I think he's a fantastic character. I like his worldview, his kind of stoic, not so much stoic, but like just he, he knows what he wants to do, and he's stubborn about it, and he's gonna do it. He's called the Black Dog because once he sinks his teeth in, he never lets go, right? And that's kind of what I wanted Ben to be like. Honestly, I wish that was more of a trait I had. I don't. I'm a little more laid back, a little more relaxed. And as you can tell by the book not being out yet, if I was the type of person like Jet Black that sunk his teeth in and didn't let go, it would have been out 5 or 6 years ago when I started writing the stupid book, maybe closer to 10 years ago. So, you know, I got something big on my radar, so I'm kind of coming this way. It's over here yet. It's big. It's definitely big. It's probably another ship. Might be those scanner things. Skimmers, whatever they are. So, yeah. So that's Ben. Morgan, the kind of love interest in the story. Whoa, where'd he go? I had something big on my radar and now it's gone. That's weird. It was covering all 3 kind of tiers that they use for your scanner. And now it's gone? That's weird. Okay, well, whatever. Morgan. She is devastatingly beautiful as I've written her. Almost weaponized beauty. But she's not the kind of person to take advantage of that. In fact, Jane, I don't want to ruin too much of the story, but Jane's not the good guy you think he is. From the first several chapters, he ends up being a major villain in the story. Like I said, I don't want to ruin it, but that's kind of important to understand who Morgan is. Morgan is working for Jane and is almost held captive by Jane. Jane has some control over her children and is certainly not afraid to threaten them. And is certainly not afraid to follow up on those threats. So whatever Jane says, unfortunately Morgan feels trapped into doing. And she was the one that searched out Ben, right? She was the one, and if you're just joining, I'm sorry, I'm kind of in the middle of of this whole thing. It'll make more sense if you watch it from the beginning of the stream. I'm talking about a book that I've written, just as an opportunity to add more substance to my page, and honestly, it just needs to be said. So that's what I'm doing right now. Let me check my mobile dashboard. I want to see if anybody said anything. So I don't want to leave you guys just kind of hanging, right? So let me exit out of there. Try to get back on here. Okay, cool. So anyway, to understand Morgan, you have to understand Jane's the bad guy. Even though that's not how he purports himself, and he's actually the guy that hired the main character in the first place. He is a bad guy, and he has bad intentions. He's more the bad guy that the ends justify the means, right? That's kind of what he does. So Morgan, the love interest, feels trapped by Jane because Jane has sway over her life, and she can't really do a whole lot about it at this time. So she's the one that kind of scouted Ben. She's the one that hired him, or got Jane to hire him, because she picked Ben specifically for the reason that he was fired for doing the right thing. So she feels that he is, 1, he's capable, and 2, he's trustworthy, at least in the direction that you can trust him to do the right thing. And in her case, the right thing would be helping her. And she is a person that is in desperate need of help. So she was kind of instrumental in getting him hired into the position of which he's in now. Dude, this music's tripping me out. So cool, so subtle. So, she has secrets that she's not telling Ben. Ben, given his prior profession, kind of gets a sense of that he's not getting the whole picture, and that she is withholding information from him. He doesn't trust her. One, it's easy to not trust her because he feels guilty for having any interest in her to begin with, because of his deceased wife. But two, it's just that sense that he has that she's lying to me, I cannot trust her. And so part of the story is them learning to trust each other enough to be open to with each other and tell each other what's actually going on. And when Ben finds out, of course he's angry because she has been misleading him. But just as she suspected, he ends up doing the right thing. So that's kind of where those two characters go. They're not romantic so far in this book, in the first book. But they... Oh, crap! Back up. We need to switch camera modes here. Oops, wrong one. How do I switch camera modes? Because I need to take these guys down. How do I release the handbrake? That's how I release the handbrake, okay. Nope. Nope. Dang it. How do I do this? Nope. Nope. So it's gotta be here. Switchcock. Nope. Dang it. Well, pickles and biscuits. I don't remember how to switch to my other camera. Let's go ahead and close that cargo scoop, though.
Cargo scoop retracted. Cargo scoop deployed. Cargo scoop retracted.
Yeah, that's not going to help me. Yeah, we're about to start a war on that one.
Drive assist on.
Come on. How do you switch? How do you switch? Well, I guess if we're tracking from... Well, it's going to make it a lot harder. Turret mode is way cooler. Just how do you switch?
Cargo scoop deployed. Cargo scoop retracted.
Alright, well, they're all in range, so we're just going to start blowing them up.
Target destroyed. Bounty acquired. Attack.
Go back. Whoa. Too much.
Under attack.
I'm aware. It's a lot harder without that turret mode thing. Okay, I gotta get this drive assist off.
Off.
There we go. Okay, so what were they protecting? That. What else were they protecting? Oops, wrong one. Resonating separators. That sounds awesome. Oops.
Cargo scoop deployed. Rolling.
Probably won't be able to get too many of these. I don't know what's rolling away, but it's gone. What is that? Let's go find out. Gladium, nice.
Cargo hold at maximum capacity.
That was awesome. Okay. Alright. Let's go ahead and stop. There we go. And let's call our ship. Activate turret. Well, that's what I freaking needed. I'm an idiot. Ugh.
Ship recalled.
Alright, let's see where that goes. Where you at, ship? Hear ya. Kind of. There we go.
Handbrake is on.
No, it's not. No. There we go. Oh, there's my ship. Oof. That one hit kind of hard. I got illegal cargo. So let's get out of here. Dude, that ship is so cool. I love my ship. Look at that freaking thing. Very nicely done. Okay. Okay, that's cool. I love that. Such a cool feature of this game. Alright. Up.
Landing gear retracted.
Gravity on this planet seems to be a little bit high, huh? I think that's why I bellied it the first time I landed. Either that, or I'm just not good at this game. I need to spend a little more time playing it, honestly, to get the desired play skills, because I kind of suck at it. So it's not like this is not a game I'd be good at. It's just a game I don't play very often. I need to play it more. I like kind of just how open it is, how you can go anywhere you want, do pretty much anything you want, and with the addition of Odyssey, which is not available for consoles yet, but the ability to get out of your ship and do some first-person shooter combat on foot. Oh man, see that right there? That's my jam. So this game is just keeps getting cooler and cooler. If you guys haven't checked out Elite Dangerous, I cannot recommend enough. It is an entire galaxy of things to do. And a lot of the detractors from Elite Dangerous say, well, it's it's a puddle 1,000,000 miles wide and an inch deep. I completely disagree. You can go through the engineers to engineer pretty much any aspect of your ship. You have so many ships that you can get. Now, the detractors that say it's a grind, oh, it's absolutely a grind, and that's something that they need to work on. And from what I've read, they are working on. But it is a fantastic game, especially if you want to get away from kind of the Twitch-based, not Twitch the website, but fast action, run and gun, getting smoked by 12-year-old game, right? I freaking hate those. So if you're looking to get away from those kind of games, this is a great game to do it. This game gives you, for the most part, a lot of time to strategize, a lot of time to explore. The game is as active or as relaxed as you want it to be. Like today, I wanted to discuss my book. We had our story time. So I just kind of picked a direction and flew. No real purpose, and yet I still got some valuable stuff. So, in my opinion, mission accomplished, man. So, let's go see if we can find one of those luxury stations real quick, and then I'll call her a day, yeah? I like how on the bottom right it says illicit cargo. Like, oh boy, you gonna get it if you go anywhere. Like, yeah, I know. I have my weapons set up just in case. Alright, so obviously that station that we just went to was not the station we're looking for. Kenzets. Holy smokes. Actually, do a little, I like speaking a little bit of Russian. I'm not good at it, but I can speak a little bit of Russian. And that is hard. Kazantsev Dock. Okay. We are looking for... What's this? Industrial. No, I don't want industrial. Raw used to be luxury. It was like all luxury stations. What in the crap happened to Raw? Agricultural. You know what? System map. Okay. So, these first three were luxury. What are they now? It is Zachary Hudson. Okay, so what's this one? Alright, pup. You guys need to go outside real quick so you don't piddle on my floor. Stay out of the mud, please. I'm not giving you another bath today. Go ahead, Shiroi. Go ahead. Stay out of the mud, please. Alright. That's the whole reason I liked coming to Raw, was because it was a 3 other stations were luxury. These first 3, maybe it was the first 2 and the third one was agricultural. What is orrery? Orrery? That is a word I'm not familiar with. Yep. I have no golly gosh darn idea. Let's try this station. You know what? No. We're going home. Let's go home. Galaxy map. Let's go home. Shoot. Hey, good pup. Hey, good pup. How you doing? Did you stay out of that mud? Were you sweet? Yeah. Alright. It's been a while since I've been to Wolf 896. I've actually been spending most of my time in Wolf 906. So, let's go.
Frameshift drive charging.
So illicit cargo in one system may not necessarily be illicit cargo in another. And oftentimes in this game, the further you get away from where you collect a resource, the more valuable it is. So we're going to try taking both of those rules into account, jumping back to my home system, and maybe making a little bit of money. But I'm still going to have to, if it still says illicit cargo, excuse me, I'm going to have to practice my cool runnings. My running cold. Stealth mode sorts of stuff. There we go. And where is that? 13 bodies. Wow, cool.
Frameshift drive charging.
So yeah, running silent. I think that's what it's called. Running silent. I'm gonna have to practice running silent to slip into. Oh yeah, it still says I have illicit cargo. I have to slip through the station security and dock without them scanning me. And that's the trick. I've done it before, mostly on PC. It's a little harder on console with the controls, but I think we'll get there. I think we'll be all right.
Frameshift drive charging.
Oh yeah, it still says illicit cargo. Crap! Well, we'll do this. This may be a bang up into the video, me getting nuked out of orbit from the station. Sheesh. Porsche, my dog, really? Alright, let's find Fraser. Enterprise. I think I just passed it.
Disengaged.
Yep. Oh, this thing turns so slow when you're not in the sweet spot for speed. There we go. Locked in. Okay. Now let's see. I have approximately a minute to figure out how to run silent. So many options. Crap, why can't I find it? It's okay. It's alright, because I know I can do it from over here. Ship. Silent running. There we go, right there. Okay. Okay, I'll just do it that way. Home sweet home, Fraser Enterprise. If you guys need a starting system that's actually pretty great, if you do pick up this game, Wolf 896 is about as good as they come. I mean, you can fly into these rings and bounty hunt and mine, and it just has a little bit of everything here. It's a good central location for trade, especially valuables, because you're one jump away from the system XIHE. I don't know how to say that. Shihi? Zihi? Anyway, that system has a rare commodity that, as long as you take it, I don't know, the further you take it, the more money you get. And you actually get a pretty good sum of money. So if you really want to make money, you can just jump from XIHE to one of the other systems that has a rare commodity and just go back and forth, and you can space truck and make millions. It's not my favorite pastime. It does take a little bit of capital to begin with, which I have a fair amount of money as it is, but so that's not the issue. But if you're just starting out, you have to make a little bit of money to buy the resource to be able to sell the resource for an increased profit. But I don't think they're terribly expensive. I think they're a couple thousand each, and you just want to fill your cargo hold with as many as you can, and then take it, maybe 10 jumps, 15 jumps from the XIHE system to wherever the next commodity is. There's a bunch of resources online that can help you plot out exactly the path you want to take. Do not listen to people that say to go to Hutton Orbital, and keep an eye out for missions that will take you to Hutton Orbital, because that is literally, once you jump to that star system, it takes 45 minutes of real human time to fly to that station. It is so far from the star. I mean, it is so far from the star, it should kind of be its own jump point, but it's not. But that's the reason people pay a good amount of money, or the game simulation pays a good amount of money to get you there. Alright, I'm going to focus here for a sec, because I'm not good at this. Alright, so we're going to try to line up as best we can with the mail slot from out here. Where we're outside of scanner range. We're at 7.87 kilometers out. Alright. I think we're good there. I'll stop. So what we want to do is basically make it a one-shot jump straight in. See if we can... Oops, wrong one. Yeah, there we go. Let's get our permission. I think we're close enough. Nope, we're not close enough. Okay, moving in.
Access permitted. Plot route for approach to landing pad 07.
Okay, boosting. Silent running is on. Up.
We've lost communication with your ship, Commander. Please run a systems check.
Okay, will do. I love that they added that. That's so cool. Alright, so we are going to landing pad
Critical.
7. There it is. So we want to... Oh, Sugarfoot! Stop running off.
Thermal signature restored.
No. Stop. I'll stop. Okay, I think we did it, gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen. I think we slipped in unnoticed. I don't know why this is so weird. There we go.
Shields online.
Nice. Nicely done. Alright, let's get out of here before they think it's a good idea to scan me. Indeed. Thank you. Okay, contacts. Black market, please. Oh, no! Why is it rented out? Aha! That's not good! Very much not good. Why? I have stuff to sell. Why are you this way? Can I sell it through here? Teehee? No? No? Patricia? Walter? You are a stinker, first of all, because your stinking black market is restricted. Why you do this? Why you do this? Oh, not good. Alright, well, regardless, irregardless. Regardless. We'll just say regardless. I think irregardless is a not correct phrase. Whatever. Oh, hey. Wait. I did not. Hang on. Universal Cartographics. Can I sell anything that I scanned? No. No, I can't. No, I can't. Because I'm too close. I think you have to be, 20 plus light years from the source to trade. Well, pickles and biscuits. Fine then. Alright, well, we snuck in. We got it done. I'm going to have to sneak back out. And probably go to Wolf 906 to access the black market there, seeing as this place is apparently the black market contact is in jail or something. I don't even know. So it would not surprise me if they would go to that depth in this game. But either way, all right, I'm off. Appreciate you guys hanging out. Appreciate you taking the time to listen. If you remain to the end of this video, dude, you are the freaking boss. A lot of talk about my book. That was pretty much the whole reason I did this, not to sell it, but just to kind of discuss it and learn from your comments if there's things you like about it, didn't like about it, etc., etc. So, I do plan on manning up and getting the dang thing published. I just haven't done it yet. Still a little nervous about it, but I think I'm just gonna have to sit down and do it. If any of you guys would like a copy of it, just let me know. Message me. We'll work out how to email it to you. I have it in PDF form. It's pretty easy to get. And like I said, it's the same length as the first Harry Potter book, so not terribly huge. But and I'm not like the high fan or the high sci-fi writer that like the I don't know. I like to keep things kind of easy. Kind of like Indiana Jones wasn't a purely archaeological style book or a story movie or a purely combat military style. It was just kind of fun to read, kind of relaxed. That's how I write too. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. I don't want to bore you guys anymore. You guys be safe. Have a great week. This will probably be my last stream for this week just because I got to go back to work tomorrow and I got some stuff I got to do around the house. So like I said, message me, contact me if you wanna take a look at the book, see what you think, or if you have any advice or statements, just throw them in there. I always welcome comments. So, all right, you guys have a great one. Be safe. Talk to you later. Bye.